Astonishment, sorrow, and deep admiration are the emotions that washed over me. After researching and learning about more than 100 Black public figures connected to the silent battles backstage to reclaim their lives from the hands of the cruel disease of cancer. Hello everyone, we are our Memory Vault, and this is the video 19 Black actresses who are dying from cancer that you didn't know about. This greatly impacts how we view health, the glamour of the entertainment industry, and the fragility of human life, and it might just leave you stunned. This video is perfect to play while you are resting, enjoying a meal with your family, or doing chores around the house. All the information in this video has been carefully researched and gathered from multiple sources. If there are any oversights, please leave a comment below to help our channel continue to grow. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and ring the notification bell to receive updates on our latest videos. Now let us step right into the stories of our first figures. Whoopi Goldberg. Opening our list today is a face that is all too familiar to global television audiences, Whoopi Goldberg. Possessing a prestigious Oscar statuette for her classic role in Ghost and being the soul of the talk show The View, Whoopi always appears as a symbol of intellect, bravery, and sharp humor. The public looks at her as an inspirer, someone who always knows how to use a smile to dispel the pressures of daily life. However, through the lens of psychological analysis, those who carry the heavy responsibility of bringing joy to the world are often the ones who must alone gnaw at their own sadness when the velvet curtain closes. A challenging turning point struck in early 2024 when a seemingly harmless dark spot on her left arm turned out to be a warning sign of early-stage skin cancer. For a woman always brimming with energy and busy with mountains of work like Whoopi, that medical diagnosis was like an unexpected storm sweeping through the peace of her twilight years. The process of receiving immunotherapy silently eroded the vitality of the star. Observant audiences could notice a clear change on television, a visibly thinner figure skin losing its elasticity and wrinkles bearing the imprint of fatigue. But the most admirable thing is how she faced adversity. She did not choose to step back or use her illness to call for pity. Instead, Whoopi resiliently sat in her familiar chair on The View, continuing to offer sharp perspectives on current events. Having to brace herself to hide the aches from the incision and the depletion of energy to maintain the pace of a live broadcast requires a will of steel that not everyone possesses. The story of Whoopi Goldberg brings us a profound lesson in resilience. Illness can change one's outward appearance, can slow down one's footsteps, but it absolutely does not have the right to extinguish the flame of intellect and pride inside a person. Mary J. Blige. In the second position, we pause before the arduous journey of Mary J. Blige, the woman hailed as the queen of hip-hop soul. Throughout her illustrious career, Mary has used music to heal millions of broken hearts. Her songs are an exquisite blend of pain and rising above the representative voice for women who have suffered many wounds. Yet the creator sometimes likes to test those who go about healing humanity. In 2023, during a routine health checkup, she had to face a barrier named early-stage breast cancer. For any woman, this is an incredibly massive psychological shock, directly threatening the symbol of femininity and self-esteem. Let us analyze the instability of the artist during the treatment process. Having to undergo strict medical protocols took away from Mary the thing she always cherished, her brilliant signature hair. When a star who always appears with a glamorous, powerful image is forced to use wigs not for fashion reasons, but to hide the fading of her body, it is a tear-filled compromise. The side effects of hormone therapy turned waking up in the morning into a struggle with her own body. Bone and joint aches and debility forced the once powerful dance steps on stage to give way to hesitant resting beats. Even so, Mary J. Blige never let destiny write the ending for her life. Instead of hiding in fear, she shared her story with the public. She turned personal pain into an awareness-raising campaign, empowering millions of other Black women silently fighting this disease. Through a humanistic lens, Mary's life is a beautiful testament to rebirth. She sang about overcoming emotional pain, and now she uses her very own life to sing a triumphant song of conquering illness. The scars left behind do not make her less alluring, but have become the most brilliant medals of a true female warrior. Dionne Warwick. Continuing the list in the third position is a name that has become a legacy of American music, Dionne Warwick. Possessing a voice as smooth as velvet, she is the master of timeless hits like Walk On, by captivating countless generations of listeners. Dionne always appears before the public with a highly calm, elegant, and aristocratic demeanor. Her entire life is a serene love song dedicating herself tirelessly to art and philanthropic activities. However, when entering her 80s, an age that should be for enjoying leisure and peace with children and grandchildren, she had to face a challenge named early-stage pancreatic cancer. From the perspective of geriatric medicine and psychology, having to undergo surgical interventions and chemotherapy regimens at the age of over 80 is a massive risk for an already weakened immune system. Severe weight loss causing her to lose nearly 22 pounds in a short time completely changed her familiar kind figure. Pale skin and eyes heavy with fatigue are proof of long sleepless nights due to dull pains in the abdomen. Since 2023, she has been forced to say goodbye to long tours and glamorous stages to retreat to the quiet space of online talks and light charity work. Yet what makes people respect Dionne Warwick the most is how she maintains her dignity in the face of illness. There is no panic, no words of complaint. She received that event with the stillness of someone who has gone through all the ups and downs of human life. Even though her footsteps have now slowed down sometimes, needing a shoulder to lean on, her gentle voice and smile always radiate a warm energy. For our older audience, Dionne's story is a profound reflection on how to face the law of life and death. She taught us that even though the body may fade with the years, an elegant character and a soul directed toward goodness will always preserve an immortal beauty before time for a person. The serenity of Dionne Warwick before the storm has left so much admiration, but the heart-wrenching tragedy of a fiery voice in the next position will truly leave you choked with emotion. Please do not take your eyes off the screen, because the most sorrowful stories are still waiting to be uncovered. Patti LaBelle. In the fourth position, we tip our hats to Patti LaBelle, the woman possessing one of the most powerful and explosive voices in music history. Dubbed the Queen of Rock and Soul, Patti always sets every stage ablaze with boundless energy and soaring high notes that seem to have no limits. The classic hit Lady Marmalade is the clearest proof of her intense vitality. For a vocal artist, the palate and vocal cords are not just tools to make a living. They are the ego, the soul, the only bridge to communicate with the world. Therefore, when esophageal cancer knocked on her door in 2023, it was like a sentence striking directly at the very existence of this legendary singer. Try putting yourself in the shoes of someone who used their singing voice to claim the throne, now feeling pain every time they speak or even when swallowing food. Initially, she just thought it was the consequence of overperforming, but the medical results overturned all plans. Endoscopic interventions and radiation therapy courses took away the roundness of her face, leaving a frail body and a voice tinged with severe hoarseness, losing its inherent resonance. Having to cancel a series of tours and decline prestigious performance invitations was a massive psychological trauma. Every rare appearance at charity events, the audience cannot help but feel sorrowful, seeing her have to constantly stop to regulate her breathing and soothe the roughness in her throat. However, the Queen has never known the word surrender. Despite physiological limits, Patti persistently participates in music mentoring work, using her lifelong experience to pass the flame to the younger generation. Through a philosophical lens, the Battle of Patti LaBelle carries an immensely grand meaning. When the Creator wants to take away your strongest weapon, that is when you must prove to the world that your true strength lies in your will, not in your physical body. Even though her singing voice can no longer reach the high notes like in her youth, her great personality and unyielding spirit will forever be the most resounding musical note in the hearts of millions of fans. Regina King. Moving to the fifth position, we quiet our minds to empathize with an outstanding talent of Hollywood cinema, Regina King. Possessing a prestigious Oscar statuette and a series of television awards, Regina always appears before the public as a symbol of strength, sharpness, and intellect. Yet the life of an artist is rarely paved only with roses. In 2022, right after having to bear an overly massive personal loss that shattered her heart, she had to continue receiving a cruel medical diagnosis, early-stage liver cancer. Through the lens of psychology and traditional medicine, the liver is the organ responsible for filtering toxins from the body, and excessive suppressed frustration and trauma mentally will often directly deal fatal blows to this organ. Emotional depletion. Resonating with surgical interventions ruthlessly eroded the vitality of the star. From a toned, healthy physique, Regina suffered severe weight loss. Darkened skin and deeply sunken eyes are clear proof of sleepless nights struggling with unnameable dull pains. However, what makes the greatness of Regina King is exactly how she chose to face adversity. She did not let herself sink into the pity of the public. She chose to step back behind the lens temporarily, putting aside shining roles on screen to focus all her energy on the role of director. This shift carries a profoundly deep psychological meaning. When her biological body was no longer supple enough to meet the demands of grueling roles, she used her intellect and artistic vision to continue controlling and creating cinematic stories. The image of a fragile Regina King needing someone to support her steps at year-end events in 2024 did not bring a feeling of weakness. Rather, it exuded a choking resilience. She taught us an invaluable philosophical lesson. When the storms of life strip away your physical strength, use the power of your mind and a tolerant soul to continue blooming, being brilliant and radiating fragrance amidst the swamp of sorrow. Grace Jones. In the 6th position, we tip our hats in admiration to an iconic legend of rebellion, Grace Jones. As a model, singer, and actress possessing an avant-garde, pioneering style ahead of her time, Grace once shattered all traditional standards of beauty. She is the embodiment of a primal feminist strength with a toned, angular bronze statue physique and an invincible demeanor. Decades passed, and the public seemed to mistakenly believe that that woman possessed a privilege immune to the fading of time. Yet the Creator's law of impermanence spares no one. Entering the age of 77, the appearance of sharp pains in the back opened a challenging chapter named kidney cancer. The fact that a person who once used physical strength and suppleness as weapons to conquer the world now had to face depletion is an incredibly heavy psychological blow. The medical intervention process took away more than 22 pounds of her body weight, causing her skin to lose its elasticity and forcing her to make friends with a walking cane to maintain balance. The image of a once majestic Grace Jones now struggling with every step can break anyone's heart. However, if one assumes that walking cane is a symbol of submission, we are completely mistaken. For Grace, it was simply a new accessory of a female warrior who had been through countless battles. Through the lens of artistic philosophy, the way Grace withdrew from noisy tours to retreat into a quiet space, focusing on personal creative projects, is a beautiful awakening. She realized that the immortality of an artist does not lie in holding on to a youthful body forever, but lies in the cultural legacies they leave behind. Though her physical body was somewhat tired, her sharp gaze and distinct artistic mindset always burned brightly. The story of Grace Jones sends a powerful message. Age and illness can bend your posture, but they absolutely do not have the right to steal the pride and unique identity that you spent your whole life building. The proud resistance of Grace Jones is proof of an immortal will. But the secret pain of the monument of motherhood, right up next, will surely take the tears of many. Let us continue this journey of empathy together. Phylicia Rashad. Continuing the list, in the 7th position is an iconic face of American television, Phylicia Rashad, affectionately called America's Mother by millions of audiences through the classic role of Claire Huxtable. Phylicia always exudes a beauty of intellect, calmness, and boundless love. The irony and cruelty of destiny lies in the fact that ovarian cancer chose to attack exactly the most sacred symbolic organ of motherhood and femininity inside her. The medical shock in 2022 not only directly threatened her vitality, but it was also a supreme test for the spirit of a woman always accustomed to being an anchor for others. The process of receiving treatment protocols left indelible marks on the star's body. The loss of hair, the thinning of her face, forced her to use headscarves. But through the lens of empathy, those scarves did not hide exhaustion. They transformed into a crown of experience and sacrifice. Felicia's choice during this difficult period carries a massively humane meaning. She gradually stepped away from the glamorous stage lights declining long-term film projects to focus all her heart on the role of an educator, a flame spreader in the university lecture hall. Standing on the podium while her body was enduring dull pains required extraordinary willpower. Whenever the pain struck, she just paused, slightly, took a deep breath, smiled gently, and continued her lecture. That action is the greatest lesson that no page of a book could ever fully convey. She used her own resilient image to prove to her students that the true strength of a person does not lie in the fact that they have never stumbled or been sick, but lies in how they maintain their dignity and continue to sow the seeds of knowledge even when they themselves are in the midst of a storm. Felicia Rashad is forever a mother, a great teacher, using her very own life to light up the future for the next generation. Debbie Allen. In the 8th position, we direct our admiration toward a boundless energy source of dance and cinematic art, Debbie Allen. Globally renowned as a talented choreographer, an outstanding actress and director of the series Grey's Anatomy. Debbie's life is always tied to ceaseless movement. For a dancer, the body is not just a biological shell, it is a sacred temple, the most exquisite instrument to communicate with heaven and earth. Therefore, when endometrial cancer knocked on her door in 2023, it was like the creator was intentionally trying to strip away the sharpest weapon of this artist. The devastation of medical treatments on a body inherently accustomed to flexibility and suppleness is a pain that cannot be measured in words. Having to face osteoporosis, joint aches, and muscle loss made footsteps that were once as light as the wind now heavy and labored. The image of Debbie having to grip tightly onto a chair to keep her balance at an art event in 2024 took many tears from those who love her. The psychology of someone who once mastered every stage space, now feeling her body betraying her own will, is an incredibly harsh tearing. Yet the rhythm of life has never died out inside this resilient woman. When her legs can no longer dance, she uses her mind and her eyes to continue choreographing and guiding young talents. She stepped back into the director's chair, turning the choreographic ideas in her mind into reality through the bodies of her students. From a philosophical perspective, Debbie Allen proves a beautifully perfect truth. The greatest dance is not the dance performed by a flawless body, but the dance of a will that never submits to adversity. Even though she has to sit in the director's chair, the echo from her dedication will forever remain the most brilliant beats in the heart of the art world. Alfre Woodard. Moving to the 9th position, we tip our hats in admiration to one of the most veteran and respected actresses in Hollywood, Alfre Woodard. Possessing a massive track record with Oscar nominations and a series of prestigious awards, Alfre always brings audiences roles with complex psychological depth full of majesty and inner strength. She seemed born to embody women carrying a spirit of steel who never bow their heads to fate. Yet in 2022, a life-or-death challenge knocked on her door, stage 2 lung cancer. Through the lens of the art of acting, breath is the very source of enunciation, the heartbeat of emotion. The disease directly attacking her lungs was like the cruelest deprivation of the vitality of an artist. It started as just a dry cough and shortness of breath that seemed harmless on the film set, but the medical diagnosis forced her to face a highly harsh reality. The process of receiving chemotherapy and radiation protocols drained the vitality of the star. Severe weight loss, hair falling out, and skin darkening were unavoidable consequences. The biggest psychological obsession for a woman always accustomed to independence was having to make friends with a medical oxygen tank at home. Footsteps that were once incredibly solid now became hesitant and slow. Having to witness the decline in the strength of her own body was an incredibly tearing internal battle during long sleepless nights. Even so, the light from Alfre Woodard's resilience was never extinguished. She chose to withdraw from blockbuster cinematic projects, not to hide, but to pour her remaining strength into legacy-building activities. She silently appeared at small-scale charity events, using her voice and lifetime experience to guide and uplift generations of young Black artists. Her appearance with a gaunt face, but eyes still burning bright with intellect, left a priceless lesson. The greatest halo of a human life is not maintaining the perfection of the physical body forever, but being ready to give away the best spiritual values even when one is in the darkness of depletion. Sheila E. In the 10th position, we direct our gratitude to a legend of contemporary music, Sheila E. Once the effective associate of music legend, Prince Sheila is hailed by the world as the queen of percussion. To her, the drumbeat is not just music. It is the heartbeat, the most intense language to connect with tens of thousands of audiences. Holding drumsticks in her hands, she is a powerful witch controlling all emotions on stage. However, disillusionment struck in 2022 when a routine health checkup discovered a tumor in her left breast, signaling the presence of breast cancer. For a female artist, this is a double trauma, both threatening her life and devastating her self-esteem regarding physical beauty. The surgical treatment process and harsh chemotherapy sessions placed her in a test exceeding normal endurance limits. The side effects of specialized medications caused intense pain in her joints, making the hands that once swiftly created fiery rhythms now trembling and weak. Having to face complete hair loss forced her to turn to wigs to maintain her familiar image before the public. Yet behind the careful makeup and forced smile was a sorrowful withering away. She was forced to cancel a series of major tours, giving up the familiar stage lights to enter a much quieter and lonelier battle for survival. But the blood of a percussion artist did not allow Sheila E. to give up. Even though she no longer had the physical strength to execute explosive performances, she still struggled to participate in charity events, using her voice to call for joining hands to help patients in similar situations. The moments she had to apologize to the audience, to pause mid-event to regulate her breathing, touched the absolute depths of public empathy. From a human perspective, Sheila E. teaches us a profound philosophy. Even when destiny forces you to let go of the drumsticks of your life, the heartbeat of courage and the will to survive inside you will still create the most epic coda, echoing forever in the hearts of those left behind. Tichina Arnold. Continuing the list, in the 11th position, is a face that brought laughter to millions of families, Tichina Arnold. Tied to the childhoods of many generations through famous sitcoms like Everybody Hates Chris or Martin, Tichina always radiates a positive energy source, eloquence, and a highly explosive charm. In the minds of the audience, she is the symbol of joy, a woman who never knows fatigue. However, the harshness of the creator lies in the fact that the people who always bring laughter to the world are sometimes the ones who must silently endure physical torment in the harshest way. In 2023, after symptoms that seemed like just common digestive disorders, she received a diagnosis named stomach cancer. Through the lens of medicine and psychology, the stomach is likened to the second brain of the body, the place that intakes energy and is also the most sensitive to emotional fluctuations. Having to remove a part of her digestive organ and receive chemotherapy completely turned her biological rhythm upside down. Persistent nausea and malabsorption caused a Tichina, who was inherently always brimming with vitality, to become gaunt and pale to the point of being hard to recognize. Physical depletion made her unable to maintain her working intensity on the film set. For a comedian, body language and facial muscles are the two most important acting tools, but now they were overshadowed by continuous fatigue. Facing that adversity, Tichina made a highly intelligent and brave strategic shift. Instead of trying to cling to the screen, she pivoted to the audio space through podcast programs. This choice helped her preserve her strength, not having to face the camera lens's scrutiny of her fading appearance, while still maintaining the connection thread with the audience through her eloquence and intellect. The fact that her hands trembled while holding the microphone or the pauses to catch her breath during recording sessions are proof of an extraordinary effort. Tikina Arnold proves that true laughter does not only originate from a healthy body, but it is the reflection of a soul that never submits to adversity. Lynn Whitfield. In the 12th position, we admire a timeless beauty, a symbol of luxury and sharpness, Lynn Whitfield. Leaving a deep mark through roles demanding complex psychological depth and an aristocratic demeanor, typically in the Josephine Baker story, or the series Greenleaf, Lynn always exudes a highly mesmerizing aura of power. She is the embodiment of elegance, a perfect model of success. Yet tragedy struck in 2022 in the form of a silent but incredibly dangerous illness: chronic lymphocytic leukemia, CLL. Unlike palpable tumors, this blood cancer creeps into every stream of life, silently eroding the body's defense capabilities from the inside. Abnormal exhaustion, prolonged low-grade fevers, and bruises appearing without clear cause pulled Lynn down from the peak of fame to step into a fierce medical battle. The combination of immunotherapy and chemotherapy created massive shocks to the physical condition of the woman in her 60s. Alarming weight loss, pale skin, and thinning hair forced her to make friends with elegant shawls during her rare public appearances. From a psychological perspective, for a person who always pursued perfection in physical appearance to now have to learn to accept their own fragility and fading is an incredibly painful journey of acceptance. However, Lynn Whitfield's aristocratic character was never broken. She withdrew from noisy film sets, only accepting small roles that didn't demand too much physical strength, and dedicated all her heart to supporting younger generations of artists. Appearing at charity events with slow steps and deeply sunken eyes, Lynn still radiated a remarkably respectable calmness and majesty. She did not complain about the injustice of fate, but quietly faced impermanence with a serene attitude. Lynn's story brings a profound philosophical message. True luxury and nobility do not lie in layers of fine silk or in ageless beauty, but shine brightest through the way we preserve our dignity and pride when having to walk in the darkness of illness. Anika Noni Rose. Moving to the 13th position, we pause before a symbol of childhood dreams, Anika Noni Rose. Possessing a crystal-clear, soaring, and magical voice, Anika left an eternal mark in the hearts of the public when voicing the character Tiana, the first Black princess in the Disney animation world, while simultaneously shining brilliantly in the cinematic work Dreamgirls. In the subconscious of millions of audiences, her singing voice is the embodiment of hope, of miracles, and happy endings. Yet real life is rarely scripted like a fairy tale. In 2021, a massive storm named Stage 2 cervical cancer unexpectedly struck, casting a dark shadow over the brightly blooming career of the star. Through the lens of psychological analysis, a woman having to face a disease attacking directly the symbolic organ of the female gender is a highly cruel tearing. Initially, pelvic pain and fatigue were explained by her as due to a dense work schedule, a habit of ignoring health very common among those at the peak of fame. However, when the medical diagnosis was placed on the table, that was when the illusion of an invincible body officially shattered. The process of surgical intervention and prolonged radiation sessions eroded the glamorous exterior of the princess. A weight loss of 22 pounds, pale skin, and thinning hair forced her to resort to wigs during her rare appearances. However, what makes the great character of Anika Noni Rose does not lie in sparkling evening gowns, but lies in a spirit that refuses to submit to adversity. She gradually scaled back surface-level artistic activities, only accepting small roles, not demanding too much physical strength, and poured all her mind into community support projects. Images in 2024 show an Anika with slow steps, deeply sunken eyes, but still exuding a highly resolute gaze. Her story brings a priceless humanistic message. The true miracle in life is not having a fairy godmother appear to erase all misfortune, but it is us, personally, lighting the flame of courage, continuing to live and contribute, even when the body is having to bear the deepest injuries. CCH Pounder. In the 14th position, we tip our hats in admiration to a true female general of the Hollywood screen, CCH Pounder. Audiences worldwide remember her through highly weighty roles, symbolic of power, decisiveness, and majesty, typically in series like The Shield, NCIS, or the blockbuster Avatar. Her acting demeanor is always accompanied by a sharp, resonant enunciation and a gaze that can see through the mind of the person opposite. Yet the irony of the creator always knows how to find the most vital weak points of a human being. In 2022, thyroid cancer knocked on her door, directly attacking the very organ that originated that authoritative voice. Let us analyze the instability of the artist when their sharpest weapon is stripped away. Initial symptoms like a small lump in the neck, difficulty swallowing, and especially a voice becoming severely hoarse and breathless dealt a highly heavy psychological blow to the pride of a veteran actress. The surgery to remove the tumor and the subsequent radiation process left undeniable after effects on her body. A weight loss of over 22 pounds, skin lacking vitality, and appearing before the public with a trembling, weak voice made those who once loved her strong image feel inevitable sorrow. The obsession about the collapse of an authoritative monument is always present in the minds of fans. Yet CCH Pounder never allowed herself to become a pitiable victim. She decided to step back behind the screen, strictly limiting action films or heavy psychological projects to protect what little vitality she had left. Instead, she directed her vision and heart toward her homeland of Ghana, quietly pouring capital and dedication into supporting art development programs for African youth. From a philosophical perspective, her action is proof of a great transformation. When power on screen is limited by illness, she used the power of compassion to build true values in real life. Her quiet but highly meaningful presence reminds us that the greatest strength of a person does not lie in the volume of their voice, but lies in the legacies of love they leave for the world. Anna Maria Horsford. Continuing the list in the 15th position is a woman who used her whole life to bring laughter to the world, Anna Maria Horsford. Leaving a deep mark through classic family comedy films like Amen or The Wayans Brothers, Anna always appears as a mother, a funny aunt, eloquent and brimming with positive energy. She is the embodiment of optimism, a spiritual medicine, helping audiences dispel the pressures of a busy life. However, the velvet curtain of the entertainment world always hides highly paradoxical hidden corners. In 2022, sharp pains in her abdomen that she originally thought were just digestive troubles due to age turned out to be the harsh verdict of stage 2 colon cancer. Through the lens of medicine, colon cancer is a disease that often develops silently, and its treatment process brings highly ironic side effects. Unlike the gaunt, weight-losing image often seen in cancer patients, Anna had to face severe water retention due to chemotherapy, making her body heavy and her joints frequently swollen. For a comedic actress who always needs flexibility and physical expression, becoming laborious was a heavy blow to her career. Having to pivot to the voice acting field and accepting small, scattered guest roles was a highly sorrowful concession for someone who once commanded every frame. Her image at a small event in 2024 with trembling hands, a face bearing the imprint of fatigue, but still trying to smile to reassure fans, touched the absolute depths of empathy. The story of Anna Maria Horsford exposes a heartbreaking reality. Those who always strive to make others happy are often the ones who must silently endure pain in the most solitary way. Even though illness eroded her body, she continued to use her time, fund, and influence to protect and speak up for the rights of Black artists. She taught us a profound lesson about dedication. The most brilliant laughter is not the laughter emitted when life is smooth, but the laughter of a resilient will daring to smile in the face of one's own storms. Rebecca Cruz. Moving to the 17th position, we pause to empathize with a woman carrying the symbol of sacrifice and great maternal love, Rebecca Cruz. To the public, Rebecca is often best known as the gentle wife, the solid launchpad behind the brilliant cinematic career of actor Terry Crews. She is the embodiment of an orderly family, a home overflowing with laughter and understanding. In pop culture, those who act as the spiritual pillar for the family often carry extraordinary endurance, but they tend to hide personal pains to protect the peace of their loved ones. Tragedy struck early this decade when breast cancer knocked on the door, threatening to shatter that peaceful structure. Through the lens of female psychology, a mother, a wife, having to face the devastation of breast cancer is not only a fear for her life, but it is also a deep wound, striking at the self-esteem and ego of femininity. The harshness of chemotherapy regimens took away her smooth hair, making her face gaunt and draining her vitality during long sleepless nights. Unlike single stars who can dedicate all their time to resting, Rebecca carried on her shoulders the pressure of having to maintain the family's rhythm of life undisturbed. Her wrapping herself in elegant shawls, suppressing chest pains to continue smiling, and appearing with her husband at charity events is a highly metaphorical picture of resilience. She did not choose to let illness turn her into a pitiful victim needing sympathy. Rebecca used her very own willpower to prove a priceless family philosophy. The greatest strength of a woman does not lie in having a flawless body, but lies in the ability to open her arms wide, embrace, and keep the family flame burning brightly even when she herself is in the middle of a storm. Illness may tire her footsteps, but the stillness and steadfastness of Rebecca Cruz transformed into the most powerful spiritual medicine, binding and protecting her home through the darkest days of human life. Closing 19 stories full of sorrow, but also overflowing with pride, we further understand the extraordinary power of the will and the fragility of human life. Those great women not only left the world brilliant artistic legacies, but also taught us priceless lessons about resilience, tolerance, and how to face adversity with the most serene mindset. We respectfully wish you, the audience, to always maintain peace in your souls, know how to cherish your own health, and have truly warm, fulfilling moments of love around the family dinner table. If the video brought you meaningful moments of reflection, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to continue accompanying our memory vault in the next stories. Goodbye, and see you again.